There's a little bit of excitement here at the Kendall Academy at the Miles of Golf in Ann Arbor, Michigan, because Justin Hicks from Wyandotte, Michigan is atop the leaderboard at the U.S. Open at Torrey Pines. And with us is Justin's teacher, Tontapanish. And Tom himself is rated as one of the top 5 teachers in Michigan. And I can just imagine you must be just a little bit pleased and a little bit proud about how Justin's faring today. Can you tell us about that?
Well, yes, Jenny. It's nice to see someone you've worked with and known a long time play well in a big event. It's always been his dream to play professional golf, and he's doing that on the biggest stage. So, yeah, I played a small part in that, and I'm happy to have done that. Yeah.
How did you first meet Justin and first start working with him?
We met when he was a junior in a college at Michigan where he played, and he worked in the shop actually. And I was teaching golf, and we met and we kind of hit it off and became friends, and eventually started working on the game a little bit and just becoming friends really too. Mm-hmm.
Well, what are some of the things that you do, some of the cues and teaching goals you have when you're working with him either here or over the phone?
Really now it's just kind of maintenance. We know what he tends to do when he's off, and we try to manage that and maintain that. And to tell you the truth, he's pretty self-reliant now, and we'll talk from time to time about the golf swing and his game, but usually from week to week it's just seeing how he's doing and seeing how he's feeling and talking about his comfort level wherever he is.
Well, Tom, speaking of comfort level, what are some of the things you would be saying to Justin about managing the pressure at the big stage?
Well, I think the first thing to recognize and to be aware of is that he's never been there before, so just accept that. From there, try to make it as much like a round of golf that he'd play at home with his buddies as much as possible. But to try to deny that it's not a big event would be silly, because it is. But he's his temperament is probably his strongest suit, so I think he'll be okay with that.
Now, the Kendall Academy is very well known here in Michigan. Can you tell us how you first came on board with the Kendall Academy?
Sure. Really a little bit by luck. I started working in the shop probably a little, like 11 and a half years ago, and Dave was just starting this academy, and he knew I had a little bit of a golf background, and he needed teachers, and I said, sure, I'd love to teach, and I've been here ever since, and it's been great. What
is some of your own golf background and your own interest in the game?
I've played forever, since I was little, like a lot of us. Played competitively through high school. Quite honestly, wasn't that great a player. After college, I went to Asia for a year and worked on my game and went to Asian Tours Q school, and found out I wasn't quite good enough to make a living at the game, and came home, and that's when I met up with Dave and Chris and the folks here at Miles of Golf and started teaching.
Well, sounds like you found your niche and you are making a living at the game.
Yes, I am. I'm staying involved in a game I love, and it's a privilege really to be able to do what I do for a living. It's a fun job, so I love it.
Playing golf, yeah, sounds like a fun job. Do you have a particular philosophy or system that you work with?
Definitely not a system. I think I try to, if anything, stay away from a system. I try to work with a player's strengths and what they do well already. I try to manage it and fit it into what their lives allow, because 99.5% of the students I teach are just normal folks who play golf, and so that means they have families and hobbies and spouses and other things that they're doing. So I just try to do the best I can with the situation that a student presents.
What are some of the kinds of faults or problems that some of these normal average golfers come in with?
There are a couple basic faults that a lot of golfers have. I think, of course, many golfers slice it and have a weak club face and aren't able to hit the ball as strongly as they'd like. But I also think maybe one of the biggest weaknesses is patience and realizing that it takes some work to change a golf swing. It takes a while to learn how to play golf better. And if anything, I ask my students to have the patience that Tiger Woods does to change his game when he does. It takes him 2 years at a time to change things. So patience it would be a nice thing, yeah.
Patience, that's interesting. Well, as somebody who always wants to improve her own game, if you could prescribe a 1 hour practice session of things that I could work on, you don't know anything about my game, but what would that be?
Well, if it was 1 hour a week, let's say, that you could do something, I'd say spend 10 minutes stretching out your golf muscles. You're doing basic stretches. I'd say use half an hour of that chipping and putting. From week to week, vary the different chips and pitches and putting that you do, and spend maybe 25 minutes or so hitting shots and hitting a few shots with every club in your bag, and not overdoing any one particular part of the game, kind of having a balanced approach to it.
The same kind of balanced approach you actually need on the course.
Yeah, I mean, we tend to hit balls a lot more than we tend to practice chipping and putting, and that happens to be more than half the game. So a balanced approach is good if we want to get better.
Well, it sounds like your approach has been very successful for at least one golfer we know about. We very much appreciate your taking the time to talk to us today. Thank you, Tom.
Well, thank you. It was nice to meet you both, and I hope he plays well for the rest of the weekend.
We do too. Tom, Tontapanish, Kendall Golf Academy in Ann Arbor, Michigan.